Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to be learning about factorization. Now, we have a variety amounts of ways we can do factorization, but today I'm going to be focusing on the four main ones, which is going to be simple common factor, or better known as SEF, trinomials, difference of squares, or also known as DOS, and grouping. So, let's start with simple common factors. Let's say we have 6x plus 9. What do these two share? These share we call a common factor. Look at the numbers, 6 and 9. What do these two numbers share? They share the factorization of 3. This will equal 2 times 3. This will equal 3 times 3. So we can rewrite this by factorizing out these 3's. 3, 2x plus 3. Next, let's say 12xy squared minus 8y. How do you solve? Well, how do you begin to solve? Sorry. Well, first off, these two have y's. So we can factorize out the y. Now we have 12 and 8, which both share a common factor of 4. So we can pull that out as well. Once again, we can put this value outside of the bracket. So 4y bracket 3y minus 2. Okay. Now let's go to trinomials. So this is trinomial. We need to find a number to multiply to 6 and add up to 5. So remember, if the formula asks for a squared plus b, ax squared plus bx plus c, you have to find a number that multiplies to c and adds up to b. This is the formula you need to remember. It's very important for solving these kind of trinomials. So we can, well, figure it out. 6 can equal 1 times 6, 2 times 3, 3 times 2, and 6 times 1. For numbers that don't include negative signs, we can ignore these two. So let's add these up. 1 plus 6 equals 7, which is in fact not the value we want. On the other hand, 2 plus 3 equals 5, which is the value we want. So we can rewrite the whole equation as x plus 2, x plus 3. Let's take another example. X squared minus 7x plus 12. Now, since we have a negative sign, we need to be a bit careful. So 12 can equal 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. I'm not going to write the rest because we don't need them. Now remember, since this is negative, all of these have to have negative signs. But remember as well, if both sides are negative, only one side needs a negative sign. So, negative 1 plus negative 12, that equals negative 13. Way off. Negative 2 plus negative 6, that equals -8. Very close. Still not it. -3 plus -4, that equals -7. We found the value. So we can rewrite the equation as x minus 3, x minus 4. So, moving on, because we have a bit more left to go. We have difference of squares. So let's grab an equation from there. X squared minus 25. Now, one thing very important to remember is that a squared minus b squared will always equal a minus b, a plus b. But how do we prove that both sides are square? Well, first off, obviously this is a square. But is 25 a square? What is the square root of 25? Well, we already know that is 5. So, in fact, 25 is a square. So we can rewrite the equation, hence 5 squared equals 25, into x squared minus 5 squared, which then we can rewrite as x minus 5, x plus 5. Now let's take another example from it, which is a bit harder. 16a squared minus 81b squared. So now we can prove this by first proving that these two numbers are squares. So 16 squared equals to 4, which means 4 squared equals to 16. On the other hand, square root of 81 equals 9, which means 9 squared equals 81. Taking on to this, we can rewrite the equation as 4a squared, well, 4 squared minus a squared, and 9 squared b squared. So with this, now we can write the whole equation as 4a minus 9b, 4a plus 9b. Now for the final part, grouping, which is actually easier, but I rather leave it for last because trinomials and difference of squares are together. So xy plus 2x plus 3y plus 6. This might look daunting at first, but let's segregate this. Let's give it two partners. So xy plus 2x, let's make that into 1. 3y plus 6, let's also make this into 1. Now what can we factorize out of this? Obviously, we can factorize x. What can we factorize out of this? 3. Because this equals 2 times 3. So this will equal y plus 2. Now remember, when you factorize out a 3, you're dividing by 3 here. So the y stays as 1. So 3y plus 2. Since these both have the same common factor, we can also rewrite the equation. If you remember, this will always equal, which is also true for any negative sign over here. So if you rewrite the equation, it will equal x plus 3, y plus 2. Let's do one more example. ab plus 5a plus 2b plus 10. So now, let's prove this. So once again, group them together. ab plus 5a plus 2b plus 10. Once again, here we go. We can factorize this. We can factorize this. So, b plus 5. Once again, factorize this out. B will always stay as 1. So b plus 5 with the factorization of 2. Notice again, these two are the same. So we can factorize these two out. So a plus 2, b plus 5. And that's all the main things you need to know about factorization. Bye bye.